Okay, this one is always one of my favorite conversation pieces, and it is all around gender intelligence. And sometimes I even call myself a gender intelligence coach because I find it so fascinating how you should be communicating with men, communicating with women, the differences, and what you should be aware of when you're doing business with the opposite sex. Because you can't be working with the opposite sex and expect the way that you like to be managed or sold to be the same with the other person, with the other sex. So let's think about this. There was a study done, and it was okay. Do men, when they say that they understand women, what is the percentage that men would say that they understand women? All right, what do you think? Men saying, I understand women. All right, the answer is 9%. 9% of men feel like they can understand a woman. Now, guess on the flip side, what do you think a woman would say, percentage-wise, that she understands a man? Okay, so this is funny because it's 68%. 68% of women believe that we understand men. And so what it really shows you is that women kind of think they get a guy, and men really have no idea about a woman. So now you go into a working environment, and you could see how there would be a complete breakdown. A man goes into the environment saying, I'm going to manage as I would manage another man. But there are 5 key differences. The first one is men and women communicate differently. And I'm only going to go into details in some of these, but we communicate differently. Number 2 is we process information differently. 3 is we lead differently. And if we lead differently, it means that we also want to be led differently. And we manage time differently. And we cope with stress differently. So let's just talk about a few things. And this, again, I get into in detail when I go into my courses, but I just want to share this with you. Okay, so how many words do women in general, on a whole, or just kind of like estimate, speak versus men? Now, this may be surprising to you, or it may not, but women speak twice as many words. On average, women speak 12,000 words a day, and men speak 6,000. When you start to look at how we process information different, and when you think about a man becoming overwhelmed, what does he do? He actually talks less. He shuts down. He becomes very introspective. But what does a woman do? When the same thing happens, a woman actually talks more. So when you hear a woman in the business world starting to talk a lot, you can really get a sense of, perhaps she needs more information. Perhaps she needs, as a manager, if you're coaching someone, or, maybe she needs a little bit more assistance to try to figure it out, to try to figure out whatever her task is, to figure out how you can help her get through whatever she's doing. Where a man, if you see that he's shut down and not talking, the same thing goes. How can you help more? So we're not going to get into the brain and how men are very much singular focused, and it's because their brain is actually designed that way, where women are have the ability to multitask, and our brain is set up that way. So if I were to throw this out to you, who makes a quicker decision when it has to do with buying something? or, in business in general? Well, it may surprise you because actually men make a faster decision. And so if you're selling to a woman, you need to give a woman more time to process, more time to think about it, and more time to give her more details around it. So again, I could go into, endless scenarios here, but fascinating when you start to think. You can't just think everyone is the way you are, right? You can't just think like, well, if I like this, you like this. If this is the way I learn, then this is the way you learn. If this is the way I buy, you buy. It's totally different when you deal with men versus women. So what I would love for you to do now is go below and comment on what have you noticed about men and women that is different. What have you noticed that really stands out? And share that with us. And if you think somebody else would love this video, share this video too. I'm coming live to you daily in the Relaunch Effect, and hopefully you are gathering a ton of information from these quick, short sessions. Anyway, we'll see you again tomorrow.